Hello everyone, welcome back to Real Crochet and Crafts. Today we're going to be crocheting these very cute and adorable mini bags. So they're very easy to make and they're beginner friendly. You can gift them to a friend or use them as a last minute gift. So I'm going to be giving the pattern with these two colors. Without further ado, let's jump into the process. The best thing about these is that you don't need to make a magic ring. So let's start off with a slip knot. Now for row 1, we're gonna be chaining 7. You also chain one more at the end of the chain. Now for row 2 to 15, you're gonna do single crochet. Now I'm done with all 15 rounds of single crochet. Now in the after the last stitch of row 15, you chain 1 and gently pull the yarn a bit. And after that, you cut the yarn and pull it out. Gently pull it once more here to tighten it. Now this is gonna be our main part and we're gonna be folding it like this in the bag shape. Now we need to make these side parts. If you want to, you can change the color for the side parts, but I'm gonna be keeping it the same color, white. So starting off with it, we're gonna be making a slip knot again. Now in row 1, you're gonna chain 4 plus 1 in the end. And then on top of it, for row 2, make 4 single crochet. We're gonna make 2 of these for both the sides of the bag. And now we can cut off all of these extra strings. now we're gonna be assembling all of the parts. Here's an important thing. Before you cut off the yarn from here, you have to make a tiny knot that's gonna make it all stay. For that, you first make you first insert the needle one last time. And when you see this loop here, you make the needle go through the loop and then you pull it out. This is gonna make a tiny knot there and it's gonna secure the yarn. And now you can go ahead and cut it off. Now you do the same thing on the other side. So this is how it is right now after we stitched on both the sides. So we're practically almost done with the bag and now we only have to make the handle and a tiny ribbon here. I'm gonna be making those with a different color, which is gonna be this light brown color. You can also use any other color of your choice. Now for making the handle, we're gonna be starting off with a slip knot. Depending on the length of the handle you want, you can make those many stitches. I want it to be a bit long, so I'm going to be making 20 stitches. And also I'm going to be chaining one again here and pulling out the yarn to finish it. While cutting it off, you can make the length a bit long so that you can use the same thread to stitch it onto the bag. Make it a bit tight. Now let's move on to attaching it to the bag. You should stitch it onto the bag onto these side parts, not onto the top. I'm gonna be putting it through the bag 2 times, and in the second time we're gonna be using the same tiny knot trick by sending the needle through the yarn to this loop that's formed and pull it through. If you want to, you can make a couple more stitches to make it really secure. but I'm gonna be stopping it right here. Now do the same on the other side of the bag onto the side part and not on the top. Now time for the last part, adding a tiny accessory here. If you want to, you can change the accessory by adding a bead or anything else, but I'm gonna be making the tiny bow here. Now you gently pull on the bottom part to make these big loops smaller. Now you can cut off the excess on the bottom in the length you like. Now to attach it on the bag, you can use either thread by stitching it on, or you can just put normal glue. I'm gonna be stitching it on to the bag, and I suggest that to all the people who are gonna be doing the same way, to use a thinner needle and thinner thread. It's really effective because the bow is really tiny. Now doing the same, insert it into the loop trick to make that tiny knot so that the bow won't fall off. And ta-da! This is our final product, the mini bag. You can store many tiny items inside it and use it to play with dolls. Comment down below which color you made the bag out of. And I really hope you enjoyed watching this video. Please like and subscribe to my channel. See you in my next video. Bye!